Welcome to Wellywood Wargaming, where the grim dark never sleeps. Crack open a bottle of wild snake and spark up a low stick as we take a journey down Underhive.
Greetings, it is competition time again. It turns out that all of my patrons not only are lovely people, but are also geniuses that come up with usually my best ideas for content, and this one is no different. What we have here is a competition for Necromunda custom scenarios. Now, I've done a little bit of work with scenarios in the past, and I do plan on doing more of this, and I've designed plenty of my own custom scenarios for my arbitration role in campaigns here, but I haven't thought about putting it to the community. So this is a really great idea here, again, from one of my patrons, so thanks for that. So what I'm going to do here is bring up one of the Apocrypha Necromunda scenarios just to have a look at the way it's constructed and go through the guidelines and requirements for this competition and what you'll get at the end of it as well. So, in the latest Apocrypha Necromunda we have here, of course the best one as well, the one with Venators in it, Bone Dry and Broke, we're going to look at the actual template of a typical Apocrypha Necromunda or just a typical scenario in general for modern Necromunda. What you have at the top here is the title, of course, and then usually a tiny little bit of lore or a little paragraph or something just to describe what's actually going on in the scenario. So I want you to include these two things as well, and then we go into the actual specifics of the scenario and how things are laid out. So first we have attacker defender, so I'd like you to fill out a little box on who's the attacker, who's the defender, or if it's a sort of even-sided battle. We then have battle type, so this is the scenario, you know, the type of the scenario, whether it has vehicles, whether it's in the Ash Wastes or it's just in the Underhive, things like that. Then we have the battlefield as well, so the size of the table that's used in this scenario, as well as the types of terrain and scenery that you're going to implement within this scenario as well. We then have the crews, so how many of each gang turn up? Is this a multiplayer? Is it D3+1? Is it, you know, a full crew? That needs to be said here as well. And then deployment as well. Deployment is, of course, where each gang deploys at the start of the game. We then have gang tactics, so whether or not your gangs will be using gang tactics cards in this scenario or not. Does it overcomplicate things or is it absolutely necessary? That's for you to decide. We then have ending the battle, victory conditions, and of course the rewards as well, and experience and rep, things like that too. So how much rep you get for winning this scenario, how much cash you get for winning it, as well as the loser sort of benefits and stuff too. So that's pretty much how a normal scenario sort of looks. Then you usually have a bunch of extra little special rules here. What we've got in this instance is death traps, hidden in shadows, bald Bryden's maze gates, and something to prove. So quite a few extra rules kind of thrown into this scenario to make it more interesting. And then we've got a little blurb at the bottom that sort of suggests which types of gangs should be played in here. Outcasts and Venators, I believe, in this instance. So it's pretty straightforward. But what I'd like you to do is absolutely go to town on the lore and the narrative and make something totally unique that I just haven't thought about yet. What I will do once I've had all the submissions in and marked them like a school teacher does with homework is pick the best one and go through a list of the top 10 and do a video in that. And then for the winner, I will be doing a narrative battle report with 2 gangs of your choosing, provided I've got the miniatures for them as well. So you'll be kind of famous. You'll have a battle report of your own design out there on YouTube as well, which I think is a really nice way of giving back to the community and highlighting some of the creative geniuses that we have out here. Anyway, I'm not going to go into too much more detail about this. Those are the sort of specifics around the competition. What you need to do is send your submission to wellywoodwargaming@gmail.com for me to mark. I'd like to have all the submissions in by the end of March, so if you could get them to me by the end of March, I will do a video on the 10 best, and then I'll follow that up later on, should time allow, with the battle report as well. So yeah, this is an exciting one, and I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Of course, there will be extra marks given for fluff and narrative as well as presentation. I want this thing to look nice and be a nice sort of printed document as well when I go to use it too. So anyway, those are the specifics. Any questions, pop them in the comments down below. Feel free to comment me again at my email there as well, and I look forward to seeing everybody's submissions. Over and out.